flaming out? Ed Rollins, you agree she's flaming out?
I think yesterday was a disaster, or Friday was a disaster for her, both in the sense that she was very incoherent in articulating what it is, why she was quitting, and what she wanted to do with it. And as I always say, you call press conferences to answer questions, not to basically raise questions. I think the serious thing here is 311 days ago, very few people in America, very few Republicans outside of Alaska knew who this woman was. She had a tremendous first few weeks as a campaigner, but she got superimposed on top of the Republican establishment. It's sort of like taking a helicopter and putting her on top of Mount Everest, which John McCain was flying it. Everybody else climbed up that ladder, and all of a sudden she's on top of the mountain. She didn't like it, or she did like it on top of the mountain. What she didn't like was coming back to earth, going back to Alaska to her job as governor. I think the reality here is her biggest mistake is walking away from the job as governor. She would at least had a record to run on. She's going to have a partial record today that's going to be very incomplete. I found her very insulting to other governors. We have 22 other Republican governors, 19 of whom basically are going to be out of this office, have to run again for this office in 2 years. 9 are term limited, and many others have to run. And she basically said in the last year, you run around and do all kinds of things. And I would predict to you every single Republican governor, like most Democratic governors, are at their desk trying to figure out how to get through this economic crisis. So I think she insulted them. I think to a certain extent it showed a naivete, and I think she basically left a big, big void in her resume.
Well, Bill Bennett, I see you shaking your head. Jump in.
2 Republicans, 1 Democrat. Hey, okay, well, I understand what Ed's saying. Ed, of course, ran the Huckabee campaign, and Huckabee slogged through all those primaries, and one can understand this. And I yield to 2 very skillful, smart campaign managers. But I saw all this comment about leaving the governorship early. I think to political pros, this may be a problem. To the base, I'm not sure it's going to be a problem at all. Remember, there was another criticism of Sarah Palin, or doubt about Sarah Palin, that she couldn't run a presidential campaign from Alaska. It's just too remote, just too far away from the rest of the states. Well, she won't have that problem now. Look, I'm not saying she's odds on to win the nomination by any stretch of the imagination, nor am I saying she doesn't have there are serious questions about her. But she is, in fact, leading the pack when you do these informal polls. All I'm saying at that point is I don't think it'll change those numbers, and I expect there'll be a lot of excitement about the base. Will there be questions? Tons of questions. But flame out, disaster, I think it's too early to say that.
But she's
running.
running.
Let's bring on that point. Hold on one sec, Don. On that point, I think we have in the control, and we can bring up on our screen the most recent CNN poll when it came to Republicans running for president shows essentially a 3-way tie between 3 people we knew from the last campaign: Governor Huckabee, former Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney, and Sarah Palin, all in the 20%. When it comes to that, Donna, you have been in Democratic primaries. If you're running in a campaign with a crowded field, she might not need 35%, 20-something, and there you see the graphic up there, 22 for Huckabee, 21 for Palin, 21 for Romney. It is very, 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 and I could throw in a few more very earlys, but with that committed base, Donna Brazil, you can do some business and some damage in a primary without going that much higher if the field is crowded, right?
Yeah, but look at the primary schedule. First of all, she will probably do very well in the Iowa caucuses, but New Hampshire, where you have to appeal the independents, and then the other early states, I don't know if she has the kind of staying power that will give her an opportunity to, say, beat someone like a Mitt Romney or a Newt Gingrich. These are men that really come to the table with much more than just their resume. They come with ideas, and they come with a serious portfolio. So I think, once again, she will face a unique set of challenges, not only because she's no longer governor, but she's also a female. And we all know that women candidates face unique hurdles in national politics. And again, I don't know if Sarah Palin is prepared for this next round of media scrutiny that she will receive now as an author, as a lecturer, and maybe as a leader of the conservative base.
Primaries are also very, very different than general elections. She had a very brief period in a general election. Primaries are long, hard processes. Ask Hillary Clinton, ask Barack Obama, ask Rudy Giuliani, who had all the name ID, all the poll approvals, all the resources in the world, and did not get one single delegate. So there's a long, hard battle here. She has great name ID. She had great potential. I just think she basically has taken herself out of the game.